Today we're going to show you how to build a Gantt chart in Assemble. But first off, what are Gantt charts? Gantt charts were invented by an engineer named Henry Gantt as a better way to show a project plan as a stacked bar chart. If you search Gantt chart on Google, you're going to come across thousands of examples, everything from Gantt chart software to Excel Gantt chart templates. But if you browse through these, you're going to see they all look pretty complex and not so easy to look at. What we're going to show you is how to create a simple project plan in Assemble with a beautiful Gantt chart that is easy to use, but also powerful and packed with all of the features you need to collaborate with the rest of your team. But first, make sure you hit subscribe down here so that you get all of our latest tutorials, tips, and new features. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section and we will get back to you. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Assemble is a project management tool that enables you to manage your projects, but also build a simple Gantt chart for each project schedule. Get started by clicking New Project up here. We're going to go ahead and create a blank project. This will be an imaginary project. Let's say we're shooting a commercial for Tesla. Go ahead and add a company logo here. And you're ready to get started. The first step in setting up your project is creating project phases so that you can create a Gantt chart. Think of these as the steps your project's going to go through to come to life. So if we were shooting a commercial, we may have phases like pre-production, production. You can go ahead and color code each phase here, and then of course, post-production. As you can see, the phases are fully customizable. You can even drag and drop to reorder if you'd like and add as many phases as you want. We give you a suggested list here, but feel free to build out phases for any sort of creative project that you're working on. Go ahead and click Next. And on the next screen, you can invite teammates to your project. And once you're done, click Done. Your new project is all set up. So let's jump right in and build a Gantt chart. First off, go ahead and click Calendar. This is where you can view the project timeline. But we're going to switch from the month view up here to the timeline view. Now let's go ahead and add some project tasks. First off, in pre-production, we're probably going to need to do a little bit of creative development. So let's go ahead and add that as a task to the Gantt chart. There's a few more things you can do within task, but for now, let's just go ahead and assign the task to ourselves. Go ahead and close that, and you can see that task has now been added to your calendar. Let's continue adding a few more tasks. Let's assume we're going to need to do some casting, and maybe a bit of location scouting. We can continue adding more tasks. Let's say that we're going to have a 4-day shoot, and then finally 2 weeks of editorial. Now that we've built out a very basic Gantt chart, let's talk about updating the calendar. First of all, you can just click and drag to move any task, both in terms of the date and into another phase at any time. Any changes made on this Gantt chart are going to update in real time for any of your team members accessing this calendar. Once a task is complete, go ahead and open the task and update the status. You can mark whether it's in progress, on hold, priority, or done. Marking it as done is not only going to tag it as done, but on the calendar, you'll see it slightly grayed out. Finally, let's talk about task dependencies. Most Gantt charts you find out there have very complex dependencies where you have to assign which tasks are dependent on other tasks. This can be a lot of work and is also really confusing to some of your teammates who may not be used to advanced Gantt charts. We simplify that entirely with a feature that we call bulk drag and drop. If you want to update your entire calendar at once, simply turn bulk drag and drop on. And what this will enable you to do is shift one task and let all the tasks on the same date or later snap to it. So let's say we had a delay. We need to move location scouting and the remainder of the calendar back 2 days. With this feature toggled on, just shift this 2 days and you're going to see the rest of the calendar snaps to it and updates automatically. This moves both forward and backwards. Gives you a very simple way to update the calendar without having to manage many complex dependencies. When you're done, make sure you toggle it off so you can go back to moving one task at a time. Another important feature of Gantt charts is the ability to add milestones. Tasks are great to show on a granular level what needs to be accomplished across each phase, but maybe you need to call out important milestones. You can do that within Assemble by simply coming up here to the timeline and clicking on it. From here, just enter a milestone name, and that milestone will now appear at the top of your calendar. You can even add emojis if you want to make these more visible. Just open the milestone, click the plus button, and then pick your emoji of choice. Now it will show up as an emoji on your timeline, giving you a visual mile marker for your project. Just hover over it at any time to see the name of the milestone. The point of a Gantt chart is to communicate timelines with your team. So you're obviously going to want to collaborate with your team on this Gantt chart. 2 ways to do that. Come up here, click share, and invite collaborators. Here, you can enter teammates' email address and invite them to join your project and access the calendar directly. However, maybe you want to export the calendar and share it with people outside of the project. You could do that with Assemble as well. Just go up here, click share, and share a review link. This is going to create a publicly viewable link of your calendar so that anyone can access it with no login or sign up required. Just come down here and click create link and then copy and paste this URL, send it to anybody to give them access. You can also add a password if security is important. When somebody else clicks this link, they'll instantly see your project calendar, no login or sign up required. They can come up here and switch to the timeline view so that they can see the Gantt chart, and they can even open up tasks to see further details. This is a read only, so they're not going to be able to make any changes to your calendar, but enables them to view exactly what's going on and all the updates. Additionally, if they come up here and click sync, they can sync this calendar to Google, Apple, or Microsoft, all without ever needing to sign up for an Assemble account. Gantt charts are great, but what if you're working on 5, 10, 20 projects at once and you need to see your entire workload in one place? Let's go ahead and take a look at the global calendar where you can see all of your Gantt charts stacked up against each other in one view. Here in the project dashboard, click calendar to enter the global calendar. This is going to show you all of your projects rolled up into one calendar. We're in the month view now, but let's go ahead and switch to the timeline view. In the timeline, you're going to be able to see every single one of your projects stacked up against each other in the Gantt chart view. This gives you an incredible bird's eye view of everything going on across all of your projects. Furthermore, if you come up to the top, hover here and click collapse all, you can collapse down to just the project timelines, which is going to show you start dates, end dates, key milestones, and your progress towards those. So go ahead and get started with Assemble today so that you can start building simple, easy to use, but powerful Gantt charts for your team. If you enjoyed this video and you want to learn more about Assemble, go ahead and click here to learn about the project dashboard next.